Korey, what is up?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, Korey?
Oh man, how are you guys doing?
I'm blessed, man. How are you? Very good.
Same here, man. So I got a couple questions. I just wanted to start out by giving you guys like the biggest shout out I possibly can. I'll tell you, I landed my first deal, closed it 33 days ago exactly today. I'm closing another deal tomorrow. That'll be my fourth deal. So within 33 days, when I close this deal tomorrow, it'll be 26,000 in total assignment fees in 33 days. And
Wow.
from the time from tomorrow until whenever I first started, actively taking action has only been about, I say 70 days. Found my first deal very quickly. It was a Zillow Fizbo. I called them, went on the appointment the next day, got it locked up for a really good discount off of the price, and I sold it like 8 days later. Got it assigned, and ever since then, it's been just government lists and driving for dollars. Uh, Driving for dollars has really been doing good for me lately. I'm averaging about every 250 to 300 prospects I bring in. Driving for dollars is averaging a deal for me. The last three deals have been driving for dollars, but I've also noticed one of them was a driving for dollars lead that I found, but it's also when I searched on PropStream was a tax delinquency. Another one was driving for dollars, but when I had pulled a code violation list, it was also on the code violation list. So I'm saying there's a lot of cross reference on, the way I'm pulling these lists. Like I could find them driving for dollars or from code violations, things like that. So now I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start, trying to scale up. I've just been cold calling and, but some of the questions I have today is actually about probates. I'm wanting to really get into probates, and because from my understanding in my market here, there's only Zach, you know where I'm at. We talked about it.
Yeah.
There's not too many really big time wholesalers here. There's a couple, you know, single man army here there, and one kind of decently sized operation, but they don't do government lists. I know for a fact. I've spoke to the person. They don't do government lists. They don't do probates.
You know
And
what to do then.
exactly. So
It's the goal.
I can, yeah, and that I see all the probate videos. I've watched every probate video that you guys have, and it's just I know that that's like if I could make it work, I'd be sitting on a gold mine.
Korey,
And
why aren't you making it work?
well,
Probate's
I have a couple questions about how to actually go about doing it. I
go
can
ahead.
I can get the list. I went to the courthouse originally, requested the list, and they told me like, hey, if we give you this big list, we have to charge you so much per copy. So what they did give me was I go and say like, hey, I want the open cases for the last like 60 days or whatever, and they'll give me a case number range for me to look it up online. So I can look it up online, and with their system, you can't look it up just by like the last like 6 months or whatever, because it'll pull every case, like civil, criminal, all that.
Okay.
So without those case numbers, you can't just filter down to just the probate. So I can get those case number ranges. When I look them up, what I'll see is I'll see like this state of John Doe, and I'll be able to see like where the beneficiaries are petitioning on there, where the original PR petitioned the court to open the probate and things like that. So what I've seen that I'm going to have to do is I can see on the probate who the deceased person was, cross reference their name to the property assessors because it doesn't show me like any property they own or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I cross reference their name to see what kind of property they own. If it's something that I think would be a deal for me, then I go and I look at who's the PR on the case, cross reference them. If I can get an address for them, then I skip trace them and market to them. Or I thought about mailing them. Um, I was just kind of wondering if there's a way that I could skip trace just the deceased person to get the relatives info. Because the only way I know of is if I use True People Search, it'll list relatives. But when I use Batch, it just gives me a list of numbers.
Hmm. Well, did you go to the clerk of the court and ask? Like, so they just said you have to buy, you have to pay for it.
What I told them is I was like, hey, I'm looking to get information on all the open probate cases within the last 60 days. And they told me that they don't keep a list, but they can give me a list of the records, but they have to charge me to
Did you
do
get
that.
did
How
you
much?
get a list of the docket?
Yeah, so they asked me what I'm looking for, and I just said I want a list of the docket, essentially the lineup of the case numbers and the who the estate was, the estate owner, and who the PRs are, and things like that. And they said they don't really keep a list like that, but in order for them to generate something for me like that, they have to charge me. And technically, according to the Tennessee Public Records Act, they can. If they have to compile a list, they can charge me an hourly rate.
How much?
So it doesn't say, it's equivalent to whatever the clerk's hourly rate would be.
Korey, can you do me a favor? Are you near your phone?
Yes, I got it right here.
Message me the county name, and
Okay.
while you're talking to him, I'll look it up for you.
So
All right.
a couple ideas while you're doing this. So remember, there's over, I think, 3,500 counties in the United States. Every county has a different procedure.
Right.
So just like Corey is telling you here, this isn't unique. Like they all have these, you got to do this and that. So find out what they're going to charge you if you have to pull that list. Sometimes it's a nominal $25, $35 fee. It might be worth it just to research it.
Right.
Number two, if you can reverse engineer it, figure it out yourself in the next 30 to 60 days, this is a perfect opportunity. If it works for you, then you can document it, come up what we call an SOP, a standard operating procedure, and then train a VA to do this monotonous task because it will wear you out after a while.
Yeah, because
You're going to have to be reaching out because your highest skill set is going to be reaching out, talking to motivated sellers.
right.
And you have to work within the probate in your county and just kill them with kindness and keep re-asking the question till you find an answer that will help you get to your end goal. I can't really do that for you. Zach can't do it. You just got to keep swinging them. Trust me, they have all those files on records. They have to because the judge has to be able to pull them up
Right.
to get them done. So, by the way, if you do probate, you should always mail it to them. It's really, really cheap.
Okay.
And older people just enjoy mail. Do a letter. Don't do a postcard. It's really, really simple. And then if you want to do like a blanket mailing, you can always mail. If you don't want to chase down the PR and all that, PR name's better, but you can put on there to the estate of John Doe and the property address you're referencing to. And then someone's usually going by that house picking up the mail. But
Okay.
I will tell you this, Corey, if you do probates, you will double your profit margin.
Right.
Literally. I'm telling you right now, when I get a probate, I get double what I normally get in a wholesale deal with my eyes shut.
And kind of the way I came about the realization that I need to be, really figuring out how to do probates is there's a couple, I would call them developers slash flippers around here. They don't wholesale, but they market to try to pull in properties the same way we do. So they're looking for motivated sellers, but they don't wholesale the properties. They buy them, fix them up, and then resell them. And when you look on their websites, they're always talking about, do you have an inherited property? And I've spoke and developed relationships with several of these owners of these businesses. And it's pretty much one of those things that if I get a probate under contract and it's a good property, call them and they'll buy it.
Yeah.
So
remember, make sure you're selling to someone who's going to give you the best return.
I looked at the list too.
And there was one other thing. Make sure you're selling it for the best return. And I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying the probate I can't find on that website, which is really good for you. They don't even let you search, which is really weird.
You can search
I know the state you're in,
number or case year or file.
They don't. I even looked in the state. Like that state is usually very good for public records.
Yeah.
So either you got to pay to just get that list compiled, which might be worth $100, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like drawing for dollars, in my opinion. I'm not big on paying for a list, but like, if you have to pay for a list, that's
nobody else is getting the list.
I can't get that list right now. Which
if I have to pay the ROI potential if no one else can get it is very
So I would consider that. Also, I would consider. Did you go to the courthouse in person?
I went there in person the first time. Yes.
Did you speak to the manager higher up or something like that?
I spoke to. I don't know if she was a manager or not. She was the lead clerk, I would say, because I spoke to just a regular receptionist at first, and she was like, "Well, let me get so and so for you. They're in charge here."
And did you ask how do you find that's crazy?
No, you just listen. I would spend this is how I got really good at probates. I would spend a lot of time at that courthouse and just
Right.
keep asking the right questions and
Yeah.
just kind of kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
And, maybe try one paid list, see what that goes with it.
Right.
You got the VA option to help you with that. And then the mailing. Have you used the pre-probate in listREI.com?
I have, yes. One thing about that I've noticed is whenever I'm, accessing the pre-probates for my market on there, I see a lot of these properties, it'll say like MLS details on there. Like at one point they were listed on the MLS, and I can't really tell if that sale went through because when I search the property records, it's still in the, heir's name or the deceased person's name. So it looks like it might have been like an expired listing on there, but it'll just say under MLS details, it'll say pulled off market category purchase, but the deed never changed names.
So I just mail to all of them.
Okay.
And if you can, what we call warm calling, do it, because you got to understand you're not going to get a ton of probates.
Yeah.
I tell people you won't go broke doing probates.
Right.
And the main thing with probate is get a system set up and just keep doing it. And I'm telling you, keep doing it. We go 2 or 3 months. Sometimes we don't even get a phone call.
Right.
And then bam, we do 2 or 3 deals because I'm extremely consistent in doing it. Most people start it. They don't get a deal in 30 or 45 days. They quit.
Right.
Which is to your advantage. So, but remember, if you only did 4 or 5 or 6 probates for the year, but they were double your average profit,
that'd be
that
good.
alone would make you such a nice profit salary that everything else would be gravy above them.
Right.
So the biggest thing I get from people the probates are long and slow. They are, but they're the most profitable. And honestly, they're the absolute easiest deals to sell because most of them are vacant. They're run down. You have a ton of opportunity on them.
Right. Yeah. I've just, I've got a system figured up on the way that I can effectively do it. It's just a little bit time consuming with having to cross-reference the PR's information to the property appraiser to find their address. So it's a little bit time consuming. And I feel like once I actually start doing it, I might be able to streamline it a little bit.
Yeah.
There is a couple, I would say, hurdles that I'm actively trying to figure out the answer to. And one of which you guys might know, maybe not. I was leaning more towards I'm probably going to have to reach out to a probate attorney and ask them. But when I was doing some research, it came to my knowledge that in the state of Tennessee that the court will actually have to require an appraisal on the property before they approve the liquidation of the asset. And then at that point, they'll set up a day where any more potential buyers could basically bid up the property in the courtroom setting. So I don't know.
Where are you getting that information from?
I've seen it on all kinds of different websites.
Well, that means every single probate would get bidded.
Yes.
Which is kind of ridiculous. So if if my grandfather, passed away or something, I don't get the house, it gets bidded.
Yeah, no, you have certain, there's certain,
right? Like it gets inherited to the next person. And that person can do whatever they want to the house.
What I'm thinking that is if there's a large debt owed by the estate, that might be something they do.
Or it could be a disputed,
Korey,
if it's a disputed state, but you got to understand as property right owner, they can sell the property whoever they want.
In the United States, probate doesn't work where if someone passes away, it automatically gets bidded up.
No,
it doesn't work like that. So you're probably reading it the wrong way. Now, maybe if you agree to buy it while it's in probate, maybe something like that. I have to read up on the law. But maybe you just have a contract with the new heir and just wait for probate to go through. That's another option. But some states you need an appraisal while it's in probate. But when you're buying a house,
very, very few. Because so once again, Korey, go out and get the truth.
Call your title company.
Don't take my word for it. Check the title company. Check at the court system. But if that was true, that would take away a owner's property rights because it's like everything would be bidded up. Everything would have to go through a real estate agent. A lot of these properties need help and they don't want to go through all that. So if the PR and the heirs agree to sell it and you're not selling it for like $1, I can't see a judge really saying no to it. The only time I've ever seen a challenge is when a probate's contested by family members.
Okay.
Then you kind of get stuck. So I've been caught in a contested one where one agreed and the 3 other didn't. And if it goes in front of a judge, you can't have issues.
Right.
So it's, it's
read up on the law, man.
Read up on that. And I want you to understand there's over 3,500 counties.
Yeah.
Every county is different. And the more you know the facts. So when you start marketing the probates, then you can actually give them the honest answer. When they say, hey, Korey, is it true that my property has to get an appraisal? Now you'll have an actual answer for them instead of just going, well, let me think about that for a moment.
Yeah. So
And that was one of my main concerns, is making sure that, probates, it's touchy. And whenever I come to these people, I want to be the subject matter expert to them, because I don't want to lead them down the road of a process that causes more trouble for them, because they're already in a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I want to
remember, what do you do when you don't know the answer in a probate or really any deal?
I find the answer. Tell them I'll get back to them.
Yeah, don't lie to them. Just say, listen, I tell you what, if can you give me just a couple hours? I'll give you a call back. I'll hop on with my attorney. I'll get you a factual answer.
Right. Yeah.
That way you're never in trouble. Like, you don't panic when you don't know the answer to the question.
Right.
Just go, let me get that answer for you.
Yep. I'm definitely going to have to figure out a way to, I'm right there on the verge of being able to effectively do them in my market. And I know once I do, it's going to be a game changer for me.
Oh, it's huge, man. That was my biggest regret when I my first 10 years, I didn't do that. Oh.
Yeah. I just,
okay. Well, I'm happy to hear about your success, man. That's awesome.
yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I owe it all to the channel, man. You guys, like, wholesaling real estate has truly changed my life. And it's crazy, from whenever I first started seeing videos about it, I was like, I don't think I can do that. That seems complicated. And I followed your channel, watched all the videos, went through freewholesaling.com, and I was like, I can do this. And now here I am, like, got HUDs in my drawer here, money in the bank, and I'm just like, wholesaling, baby.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
That's awesome. So guys, it doesn't, if you do it paid or for free, it really is up to your commitment, and make sure you follow someone that has a documented journey and they're actively doing it. And Korey's done it, and he's going to make his own mark on his own. So that's awesome.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a blessed one.
Okay. Have a good one. Thanks, Korey.
Thanks.